And we're here at the live stream interviews again at the Biohacker Summit 2019. It's my great pleasure to have Anthony DiClemente here with us because I just got to hear his speech. And I mean, if you have to hear one speech at the Biohacker Summit, definitely check that one out. It's full of amazing stuff. But we've got some questions here from our audience, which I want to ask you. What is your latest finding in being superhuman?
My latest finding? Well, I mentioned in my talk what had the most profound impact on me, which was going to a place called Rhythmia in Costa Rica and doing 4 plant medicine ceremonies. It's one of those things that is not for everyone, and I think it's important to decide if you feel called to do it, and also if you do feel called to do it, be willing to experience both like a moment with God or one of the most challenging moments of your life. But if you're okay with all of that and you've tried a lot of other things, it can be extremely helpful and beneficial, and it was for me.
Okay. Do you have a hack? You talked about infections today. That's kind of the bottom line of a lot of the disease that we have. Do you have some kind of hack for minimizing infections?
Yeah, so that's a good question. In many cases, what precedes infections, especially the chronic ones, is years and even decades of things that wear down our immune system or things that create an autoimmune situation in the body where our immune system is wasting a lot of energy attacking our own cells. So focusing on keeping your body clean through daily detoxification, through things like steady state cardio, sauna, even cold, to make sure that your voltage is high, you've got plenty of electricity and electrons in your body, and then addressing toxins through keeping your liver healthy. Coffee enemas, lots of antioxidants, vitamin C, N-acetylcysteine, glutathione, things that are commonly deficient. Yeah, keeping your immune system healthy is top priority and precedes mitochondrial health and energy production. And
very interesting. Yeah. So staying clean, basically.
Stay clean. Stay clean, kids.
I think you already gave us some examples about how to get rid of heavy metals. Is it like saunas, and what are the other main ones?
So what we've found is that saunas are helpful, but in many cases not enough.
Okay.
So we've developed some advanced protocols that start with, there's Quicksilver Scientific. Dr. Chris Shade has a product called Push Catch, where you take a liver sauce in the morning, and it gets your liver to dump a number of toxins, including heavy metals, and then you follow it up a couple hours later with gut binders and bind and help with eliminating some of those toxins that have been mobilized. And then we go into either DMSA, which is a prescription chelating agent, but you can also find it online at dmsachelation.com, and or ETDA suppositories. There's a product called Detoximin that we'll use, and we'll have clients take that at a frequency that they can handle. Usually it gets up to every other night before bed. And we do that for certain periods of time. It varies a little bit based on the client. And then sometimes we follow that with Keyzone, which is an IV, an intravenous ETDA chelation, followed by ozone therapy that helps maintain elasticity and health in the endothelial lining of our blood vessels and capillaries.
These are basically things that you would need to test before you do, or is there?
Yeah, so Doctors Data has a test that's a 6-hour heavy metal provocation test where you take a little bit of that substance I mentioned earlier, DMSA, and that helps to provoke and get the body to release some of the heavy metals that may be present. And then you give some urine samples, and they take that and they tell you where your heavy metals are at. We use that with some clients. What we found is that it's so common now. We have, as part of our proprietary health assessment, we've got some symptom-based questions that we'll ask. And if someone scores over a certain level in those, and they want to, we'll just start doing a heavy metal protocol, and they usually experience some improvement.
In other words, it's kind of safe to say that most everybody would need to do some kind of heavy metal detoxing?
It's getting more and more common. I don't want to apply like
yeah,
a blanket
to everybody.
to everyone, but a lot of people. Yeah, especially with, I mean, what's preceding this, I believe, is we have a lot of people that are in chronic fight or flight, or like sympathetic dominance.
Yes.
So it's not that they're necessarily exposed to a ton more heavy metals than a few years ago. It's that we're not detoxing them because we're always in fight or flight, and detoxification happens in parasympathetic rest and digest. So as more and more people are getting stressed and experiencing this sympathetic dominance, we need more advanced protocols for detoxification, like some of the heavy metal ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have like a number one detox thing for resetting the fight or flight, like a lot of stress?
Yeah. So for me, I moved to Florida to get more beach and sun in my life. And I noticed that I felt much more centered and aligned when I did that. And I also noticed that when I wasn't creating and working from a place of alignment, there was a lot of activity without progress. I wasn't happy with what I was making. I was just like creating a whole bunch of stuff that we didn't use. So for me, it's getting to the beach in the morning and then meditating, getting a lot of sun, looking toward the sun, getting that to my eyes and skin, and then going for a swim in the ocean, even if it's just like a little dip. And then after that, I get a workout in that includes some steady state cardio.
Is there some northern version of this beach and sun and sand thing?
Yeah.
Is it the same to walk barefoot on the ground or in the snow, or what?
It's
what would you
definitely
say?
harder here because of the temperature. So I would focus on 120 to 180 minutes of steady state cardio per week, preferably in the morning and fasted. And then I would follow that with bonus, a sauna, and a cold plunge.
Okay.
And like a lot of that, you charge the body back up with electrons that we tend to lose in our modern stressful lifestyle. And I would be consistent with that and just make sure that you're not overtraining, that you're staying like within your body's ability to recover. And that'd be a good
Did
place
you say
to start.
once a week for that?
120 to 180 minutes per week.
Per week, okay.
And it's usually about 20, 30
in
minutes
one
a
shot,
day.
like not. Oh, in it.
Yeah.
Throughout.
One shot would be
That'd
be rough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a bit a day. So you could
Yeah, a
probably
little
do it in a couple times, 3 to 4 times a
Yeah,
week.
even just
you
like
could
20
probably.
minutes on an elliptical or a treadmill or an exercise bike. I have a treadmill at my place, so I do a lot there. And then I do some on a Rogue Echo bike that's like an Airdyne bike. And sometimes I'll do that while breathing oxygen, like 80% oxygen.
Okay.
So it's this adaptive contrast training. Those are kind of my go-tos.
Nice. And the last question from our audience, how do we work on improving our thermogenesis?
Our what?
Thermogenesis?
Thermogenesis? What is that, like the generation of heat in the body?
I think you talked about it briefly.
Oh, like thermoregulation and that thing?
Maybe.
Okay, so some practices. The steady state cardio that I mentioned is a big one because that gets you for that 120 to 180 minutes per week. It elevates your body temperature. Doing that with like sweats on, like you see a lot of fighters do, traps some of that electricity, those electrons in the body. That's a great practice. Saunas are an excellent practice. I've had some clients even sleep on biomats, which is kind of like an infrared sauna that you can lay on.
Okay.
And those are some good ways to do it. Yeah, even biohacker baths, which are like you get water as hot as you can tolerate in a tub, and then you add 2 cups Epsom salt, 1 cup baking soda, 1 cup 35% food-grade hydrogen peroxide is optional. Cup of apple cider vinegar is optional.
Okay.
Soak in that for like 20 minutes. You'll sweat, you'll detox, and that also helps with thermoregulation or
Very interesting.
thermogenesis.
Sounds doable. Thank you
hope I
very
answered the right
much,
question.
Anthony
Thank you very much,
DiClemente,
Angel.
here at the Biohacker Summit 2019.